Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture series on ESP32. This is 6th lecture of Module 2 FreeRTOS and ESP32. In the previous lecture, we saw the theory portion of the software timers in FreeRTOS. In this lecture, we will do a hands-on demo of the software timers. In this demo, we will create software timer. We will make a callback function. We will compare the timers in the callback function and take appropriate actions. We will use the timers as well as the timer ID to compare. So let's begin. Start Visual Studio Code. ESP-IDF Explorer. New project. ESP-IDF version 6. Get started. Hello World project. Create project. Enter the project directory. We will make new directory for lecture 6. M2L6. Project name. This is second lecture. Create project. Now open the project. Close the old window. The main file. We will name it appropriately. Timer demo 1. Timer demo 1. We'll change the CMake list file. Timer demo 1.c. We will delete it. Now include the header files. As include stdiu.h, include freertos.h, IntelliSense is not working. We will build the project. We will build it. Now include freertos.h. IntelliSense is still not working. We'll go to settings, preference, settings, extensions, CBB, compile commands. The compile commands use the file compilecommands.json. We will copy name from here and paste it here. Now save it. Build it. Include frtos.h. Then we will include task.h, task.h, then timers.h, FreeRTOS, timers.h, timers.h. We will make two time handles, one for auto reload timer and one for one shot timer. So timer handle T, X auto reload timer. Then timer handle for one shot timer. one-shot timer. We will make the callback function. The signature of callback function is void the function name and the argument it takes is timer handle. Timer handle T, xTimer. This is the signature of callback function, timer callback function. We will write content later. We will first make the timers. We will make variables for timer ID. Timer1 ID, we will give it 1. Timer2 ID, we will give it 2. Now we will create the timer. Auto reload. First we will create auto reload timer equals xTimerCreate API is used to create the timer. xTimerCreate. The first argument it takes is a descriptive name to the timer. We will give it timer1 auto reload. The second argument is the period of execution of the callback function. It takes in number of ticks. So we will give it a period of 1 second. We will use PDMS2Tick API to convert time to number of ticks. PDMS2Tick 1 second. The next argument sets whether the timer will be a auto reload timer or a one-shot timer. Since it is an auto reload timer, we will give it pdTRUE. Then the ID of the timer. It takes void pointer as the ID. So we have our variable uint8t. We will take this address of timer1, and we will cast this address to a void pointer type. Then the pointer to the callback function. The function name itself is the pointer. Then we will create the one-shot timer. We will create the timer. Timer2 one-shot timer. Then we will give it a period of 2 seconds. And since it is a one-shot timer, it is false. pdFALSE. And the address of timer2. And same callback function we will use. And inside the callback function, we will check which timer is executing and we will work accordingly. Now we will check whether the timers are created or not, and then we will start the timers. Now we will start the timer. The start timer will return a base type t value that will indicate pdPass or pdFail. For that we will make two variables of type base type t. xTimer1 started and xTimer2 started. Now we will start the timer. xTimer1 started equal to xTimerStart. Auto reload timer. Then second argument is time to wait. The timers execute in context of daemon task inside the kernel, and these daemon tasks take command from the queues, and if the queues are full, then this time wait will decide how much time the command will wait for the queue to make some space. So here we will put it 0. Queue is of size 10. So we know we have sufficient space in the queue. So we are putting it 0. We will start the one-shot timer also. Now we will make the callback function. We will take the time at which the function is getting executed. For that we will make xType t variable. xType t x now. We will get the current tick count. X now. xTaskGetTickCount. Now we will compare the timers. Which timer has expired and called this callback function. If xTimer is equals auto reload timer, here we will take the opportunity to learn the setTimerID and the getTimerID. We can set the timer ID during the runtime. So for that we will make a counter variable uint8t uCounter 0. Inside the auto reload timer, we will set the timer ID of the auto reload timer to the counter value. Set timer ID of which timer? So auto reload timer. We will set the timer ID of auto reload timer to the value that we will get from, here it is void pointer. So we will pass the address of uCounter. Now we will check whether the ID is less than 5 or not. We will be continuously changing the ID and checking whether the ID is less than 5 or not. So for that we will use the timer get timer ID. If get the timer ID, timer get timer ID, it will take the argument the timer, paste it, then get timer ID returns a void pointer. We will pass it to uint32t pointer so that we can compare it with a number is less than equal to 5. So here we are comparing it with a number. We will take the value out of this pointer. So value at void pointer we have cast it to uint32 pointer and taken out the value from that. So now it is fine. Now we will printf reload timer with ID we will increment the uCounter. We will use this variable itself. Then xNow. xNow will give the current tick count when this function is executing. Else, once it has exceeded 5, we will stop the timer. The timer to stop. And the time that it will wait for the queue to get empty or for the space. We'll make it 0 since the queue is of size 10 and we know we are passing only 3 commands. Now we will increment the counter. So this is what it will do if the callback function is called after the expiration of the auto reload timer. Now, if the timer is one shot timer, we will just print the tick count at the time of execution. Next, now let us build the project. Class it. Now monitor the output. The output we will see, the auto reload timer is executing with 0, 1, 2, 3 ID. The ID we are changing it here. pvTimer set timer ID. We are setting it to the counter value. Each time we are increasing the counter, we are setting it to the timer ID. Once our timer executed only once, it went in the dormant state. But auto reload timer, we had to put it to dormant state by calling xTimerStop. So in this lecture, we demonstrated the auto reload timer and the one shot timer. Also, we used the timers to compare, and also we used the timer IDs to compare and take the appropriate action. So that's all from this lecture. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.